All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So continuing on the last video, I'm going to cover SNDL, I'll cover high tide. I want to look at MSOS and a couple of the holdings. If I have time, I'll even throw in VFF and Cron. I think that'd be a beautiful review for this. So I did just spend a good amount of time talking about the reschedulization. I'll give some thoughts here again. I rarely kind of push my other videos, but hey, if you didn't, maybe consider watching like the first maybe 8 minutes of the Tilray, CGC, and ACB. I would say I gave some better thoughts than I probably will here. I'll give similar thoughts, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not going to repeat the whole thing. But believe me when I say that I'm a technical guy, right? So for me to really fall in love with news, it has to be big news. I will tell you, I am falling in love with this news. I am, okay? And even for the Canadian stocks that has absolutely nothing to do with, and it will not be affected at all by this DEA shift. Believe me when I say, when the US starts making changes, when Germany, the third biggest economy in the world, starts making changes, it's going to become even more difficult for Canada to not, right? Canada, actually, it seemed like Canada made a real big move in the sector and try to become like a winning nation in the sector. And I think the last thing that Canada probably wants to do is fall behind. You can arguably say even more, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, we'll do what we always do, and we're gonna take a look at the daily and the week. I said that weird. That felt weird, but if you've never been here before, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do. That's actually how I start that. But we'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here and giving me your time, oh, I'm so grateful for it, all right? So before we get into the technicals, I want to take us to the fireplace. I'm going to give you a couple of my thoughts on today's news, and listen, I said at the beginning, I'm going to say it again. I'm a technical trader. I live and die by these colorful lines that I share, and news rarely makes an impact on my trading. You know what I mean? And today was not that. Today, I rarely tell people what I buy. I think as a YouTube analyst, whatever word you want to use, right? The last thing I want people to do is think to themselves, hey, this chart reader dude is in, I should probably get in too. But yeah, I got in today because of this news. And in fact, I bought multiple times today because it looked good, it looked better, and then it hit great, obviously, right? So yeah, this was big. And listen, my favorite thing that happened yesterday, obviously before this reschedulization rumor kind of happened, there were a couple publications, and I'm going to call them low-grade publications. I'm going to call them non-reputable ones. They were trying to, like, for lack of words, clickbait headlines that said, hey, maybe the safe banking is going to come back on 510. I real quickly, I dismissed one, and I'm glad that the back and forth went really well. I'm telling you, disagreement's a beautiful thing when it's done respectfully, right? But I really disagreed with the headlines, and, you know, it just seemed like people were trying to, put hope somewhere where it was. And I love the fact that it was a new, completely different headline, because again, we already knew that safe banking wasn't going to happen, right? What I love about reschedulization is there are financial impacts. Okay, there is an easier ability for investors to come in. There's an easier ability for more research to happen. That means federal grants. That might even mean some new FDA approvals that didn't happen before because there was never research. There are so many maybes. There are rumors upon rumors that you can add to this reschedulization. And if you watch my videos, you know I love rumors. Buy the rumor, sell the news is a very very important phrase for a reason, and I'm telling you, so much could happen, and really so much probably will happen once reschedulization happens. All right, and ultimately this is kind of my like, look, I'm never here complaining, right? I don't blame manipulation. I don't blame this or that. I very much trade what's in front of me. The one thing I hate about our sector is it feels like we are the only sector in the nation that's not in a free market. The rules are so bad for the companies, for the customers. This is not a free market sector. And once we start chipping those rules that have been keeping us in handcuffs for far more than a decade now, oh my goodness, that's game changing. All right, so believe me when I say this is pretty much what I said on the Tilray CGC and ACB video. I'll put a link reminder at 6 minutes right here. Maybe you want to watch it, but I think this was actually a pretty good recap. Please let me know if you agree. Please let me know if you disagree with anything I have to say. The last just real comment is, listen, to me, this is still a rumor. There are a lot of really big reputable headlines coming from real big reputable publications that are really, really implying Biden's about to sign something. I don't believe Biden has signed anything yet. I don't believe there's even a date or a confirmation of when things are going to get signed. Right now, the rumor just feels a lot realer to me until I see just a little bit more definitiveness. All right, so 6:45 is probably where I will do my chapter transition. But again, please let me know if you agree. Please let me know if you disagree. Let's come into SNDL. Oh my goodness. All right, I love this. I will be like, I'm a little bit, oh, hold on really quickly. Sorry, if you can please subscribe, if you can please share this video, it does wonders with the algorithms. All right. I'm a little surprised that Tilray had a better percent day than SNDL. Okay, now clearly the volume difference is next level, right? Tilray had 150 million, SNDL had 22 million. All right, so can't even pretend volume's the same. What surprised me was the fact that SNDL was actually above at least 3 of the 5 and basically holding the 8 and the 20 despite kind of being under it for a bit, right? That was actually the exact same setup as CGC. You can see it right there. That was the exact same setup as ACB. You can see it right there. And both of those actually did better than Tilray, but SNDL didn't. Maybe it's because this one had just a little less volume, but believe me, I'm kind of nitpicking here, right? But that's the kind of thing that I do when I'm about to pick a stock, right? Like, it looks like the sector is hot. I don't have an infinite amount of money. I have limited funds, and I better pick correctly, right? And those are the little things that I'm kind of looking at. And yeah, I actually would have guessed that SNDL would have done better than Tilray. Nonetheless, this is a beautiful, beautiful candle. We obviously get back over the 8 and the 20. We destroy that 211. We even run all the way to the 245, essentially closing at that line, right? You know my lines aren't here for perfect. So 247, 245, I'm essentially seeing the same thing, right? There's a little baby drop after hours. Believe me, I don't care about that, all right? If we're gonna run 20%, 22% on a regular hour day, we either drop down a lot or we hold, right? And I am liking this hold, okay? I think where I clicked is probably what I'd expect on the low end. Maybe this comes down to 230. I really think this thing wants to go up, all right? I really think that this thing wants 278, 280. Oh man, if we can break 280, I think I'll at least draw one more line, because I don't want you to think 450 just yet. I think 450 might be a little aggressive, but I can see 280 and 350 kind of coming quickly if those two can go, right? I wish we just closed a little bit higher and got over that 4-3 candle. All right, that's something I've been talking about on the last video. I do want to say it again here. You can see SNDL did not get over that peak right there, right? High tide, I'll talk about this one. Didn't get over that peak right there, right? VFF might have. Oh, did it? Oh, just barely, but it's pretty much there. Nice. Where's Cron at? Where's Chrono? Ooh, same VFF comment just right there. And then I know MSOS did, right? So that's kind of the only nitpick I have on SNDL. But again, I really feel like 280 makes a little bit more sense than 230, but I think that's kind of my up-down on the opinion. Loving the volume, loving the divergence on the MACD and the RSI, loving that the MACD is positive. We were just at an RSI of 85. That's a very, very healthy 65. Even if we just go to 80, not even 85, there's a lot of room between 65 and 80. So I know that looks like a big percent, but it feels like there's another one coming. Where's the weekly? Oh man, this one's over. This is, probably the nicest close over the 100 moving average on the weekly since the line came into an existence. We had one, didn't confirm. We had one, didn't confirm. I mean, that's break and confirm right there to me. All right, so obviously we still have a couple days left in the week. Let's see what it does. Let's make sure it holds. But oh man, we're literally talking about the best close over a difficult line since it's been created. I'm actually talking about a confirmation potentially. You know what I mean? Not even that single candle. So lovely, lovely, lovely here. All right, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's come into high tide next. All right, I am liking what I'm seeing here. There's a little bit of a technical bounce. There's a little bit of news headlines. There are things to like here. All right, so really quickly, please, if you can subscribe, if you can share this video, it does wonders with the algorithm. So okay, I think I said it in the beginning. If I didn't, I'll at least say it here. Listen, I know High Tide is a Canadian company. I know all the headlines are about the US DEA doing US reschedulalizations that have nothing to do with Canada. I think this very, very much is very bullish for Canada as well, because again, we're talking about top nations in the world doing significant things. Germany legalizing, US potential rule changes, Canada is just twirling their thumbs and watching, and I don't think it can do it for that long. Like, this was a nation at one point leading in the sector. I remember those early 2010 years, right? They are quickly falling behind, and I don't think the government's going to let that happen. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if you disagree with that, but I still see this as a very, very good thing for Canadian stocks. At the bare minimum, I see this as a good thing for the sector, and you know, if the sector is good, all the little baby stocks within the sector come up too, and I say baby with love, you know that. Again, I talked about the technical move here, right? We lost the 8, we lost the 20, we didn't lose the 50. We actually start to hold it, and then lo and behold, we get the news that bumps us and goes, right? I talked about the volume, and I actually remember there was a really good comment I made here. So there was a question about high tide. You can see only a couple days ago, right? My main comment, and I actually circled it down here, okay? My main comment, and clearly I thought we were going to lose the 50, but that never happened, right? So I was wrong on my assumptions. I always say, never hesitate to disagree with me, right? I'm not here pretending I know it all. My concern was volume. It seems like it's staying high, but that accumulation is becoming a sell-off, right? Like, here, let's come to the chart. I was loving this volume, right? These were literally the biggest volume days in history. We start to raise the 50-day average, and lo and behold, we're actually still holding. But all these people that were buying look like they were selling, right? Like, this string of red looks like it actually completely offsets that string of green, right? And that was my concern. That's why I actually thought we were coming down here, right? I clearly made the star that implied that, right? Again, this was not a Canadian headline. The sector lifts. Lo and behold, we're actually back over all the moving averages, right? We cracked the 5th one. You know, confirmation is going to be way more important. If we're going to break 2 moving averages on a single day, on a normal day, I would say give me 244. I want this 254 tomorrow. That is what I'm expecting for tomorrow's close. Otherwise, maybe we come down to 220. I would be shocked if we lose 211. I don't think we'll doji here, though. I think we're either going to break the 20 and continue up and confirm, or maybe lose the 20 and come to that 220 in between. But again, MACD actually never went to the negative. It did come down, but it stayed above the dash. We had a very, very high 75-ish. This was at least 80-ish, right? Yeah, 80, 81 RSI. We're down to a 37. There's a lot of room between 37 and just 80, right? So high tide looks like it wants more. If we break that 250, I would easily say 330 would be next. I think 330 is still the main target for now, all right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's come into MSOS. Bye-bye 1051 resistance. Oh my, I am loving this, all right? So really, really quickly, please, if you can subscribe, if you can share this video, it does wonders, all right? So I am going to focus a little bit more on this MSOS ETF, but just really quickly, weed, all right? This round hill ETF, same exact thing, same exact resistance that broke those two peaks, all right? What was the other one? MJ, all right? This is the Harvest ETF. Same big candle that broke that peak and basically this peak right here, right? So though I'm going to be talking about MSOS the most, you can see MJ. Look, this has 6.4 million shares. Weed, this one has not even 50,000. This one's real low volume. I'm glad the candle's there, but yeah, I don't like that as a daily volume. MSOS, you're living here at 50 million. And hey, please, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. Don't forget about MSOX, okay? Where this was a 24% day, MSOX does a 2x daily that brought 50% today, far exceeding Tilray. I think it did better than CGC. No, ACB. It was only CGC that beat it, right? So MSOX would have been a juggernaut today if you didn't forget about it, all right? But look, I'm loving this. I am. We've been hunting the break of this 1050 line for what feels like months now. It really seemed like it was going to do this in the late March. It actually almost seemed like it was going to do it in the beginning of April as well. And then obviously we drop all the way. The DEA is obviously a big US news headline. This is arguably the biggest US ETF. Again, I at least talked about the volume being what, more than 10x the next biggest ETF, which was around, what do we say, 3 million, give or take. So you know, I mean, this is beautiful. This is making me believe we're coming to 1250 next. If we break 1250, oh my goodness, I'm hesitant to start drawing more lines, but let's make basically 14 the next immediate target. 1390 is exactly where my line is, but yeah, right. As I look at Curaleaf, right, CURL, nice, the F came, Curaleaf, boom, look at this. We break the peak and we go. That's a beautiful MACD, beautiful RSI. This was phenomenal volume. This was one of the biggest trading days in the stock's history, right? Like, this was a big day for Curaleaf. It seems like 660s next. Oh, we might even be talking about $8, I think. I think that's where I'll draw my next line. Again, this is US dollars, right? Because I'm looking at CURLF. This is the over-the-counter US version. When I look at Trulieve, there we go, beautiful. Same basic candle. This one actually gets to, I mean, we're talking less than a penny away from my resistance line, right? Oh my goodness, look at how big of a resistance this is. If we can break that, red might be a beautiful green. I'll put the line, I'll put it right there. We might be talking 1875, kind of rounding to the next kind of 0 to 5 number, right? I am loving this. When I look at Cresco Labs, beautiful right there. I mean, again, you can see the pattern across all of these. This is This one's probably a little bit weaker than the last two, but again, we've already seen it. I know I showed it on past videos. This is a number 4 holding on most of them. Trulieve and Curaleaf are pretty much number 1 and number 2 for most of them, right? So Verano, I think, is the other one. Verano. Boom, I think this one's it, Verano. Look at this thing, right? Not quite over the biggest of the peaks, but look at that volume. We're testing that peak, right? I mean, it's looking good. And as all the top holdings on MSOS get ready, as I'm seeing us destroy this 1050, as I'm seeing MACD in the positive, RSI looking good, look at the vol. Today was the biggest volume day in MSOS trading history. How much more good can I say in a 20-minute video? Let me know if you agree with anything. Let me know if you disagree with anything. For real, I think that this biggest volume day is probably prettier to me than this MSOX 50% day. And obviously, this is going to be the biggest percent day here. Dude, there's a lot of red. We might, woof. Oh my gosh. Let me draw this line, because this will be the first line I think I should draw. We might be coming to 10 and then 13. There's a real deep 14. Goodness. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. It's a beautiful day to say the least. Thank you.